Straight ahead on 12 News, a first-of-its-kind park in Brooklyn Park. What makes this play area unique? Plus, celebrating a new chapter at a local college. We'll show you the major upgrades at Hennepin Tech. And Minnesota reaches an economic milestone, but why this new report isn't as rosy as it may seem. 12 News starts right now. Ominous skies made for an interesting morning across the Northwest Metro. The winds picked up, and as you see here, sheets of rain fell late Thursday morning. The fast-moving storm took down tree branches in parts of the area. Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. Those falling tree branches were to blame for power outages across the Northwest Metro. Businesses at Crystal Shopping Center along West Broadway lost power for about an hour. Xcel Energy says this morning's storm caused 17,000 power outages that impacted Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, Crystal, New Hope, and Robbinsdale. And despite this storm, we still need 3 to 4 more inches of rain to fix our moderate drought. Because of the risk of severe weather today, Maple Grove officials made the call to cancel Thursday's farmers market held outside the community center, but no need to be disappointed. There is still 5 more weeks of outdoor food and fun. Well, now in other news, Minnesota reached an economic milestone today.
State officials say Minnesota has recovered all the jobs it lost during the recession. Figures released today show Minnesota gained more than 12,000 jobs in August. That's the strongest month of job gains since January. Minnesota's unemployment rate now stands at 5.1%. That's more than 2 points below the national rate. But a Maple Grove financial advisor says the economy hasn't recovered as much as the Federal Reserve had hoped after a long recession. Bill Wixon says unemployment is still too high and the Federal Reserve is still acting to hold interest rates down to let the economy recover.
So by keeping them low, it kind of reassures those people, in the case of home purchases and perhaps auto, that yes, rates will still be low, still give me the opportunity to buy more house or more car with my funds and pay less in interest. So it stimulates, clearly the design of the Fed plan is to stimulate the consumers to buy more, which stimulates earnings to companies, which helps the stock market do well.
Wixon says there is a downside to low interest rates. If you're a retiree who's relying on bank CDs, you've probably seen your income drop sharply. 40 years ago, colleges weren't built with computer labs or student conference rooms.
Administrators believed it was past time for Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park to be updated. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton shows us why the college needed new space.
But it is a job that does exist out there.
Whether it's new 3D printing technology or in the machine shop where students learn to make parts that could fit a lawnmower or helicopter, Hennepin Tech has pushed to keep up with change.
We're working to keep the equipment up to date, and it's so vital to what we do because that all changes regularly.
And there is a need. Enrollment in customized training skills is up.
They're being taught the skills that are today, not the skills from 10 years ago, but the skills they need in the job force today.
But administrators wanted to enhance student life here at Hennepin Tech, so they renovated the space for the library and created new areas for students to study.
We have an actual quiet zone, which is really nice. You're able to go in there, you know as a student that you can block out 2 hours for your studies.
Thursday, Hennepin Tech cut the ribbon on a new 37,000 square foot space for students to study.
Building this space to support the learners in those areas is just critical.
Administrators felt students needed updated study space and computer access to complement the work done in technical labs.
This facility was built back in the early 70s and hadn't had an overhaul since then, so so many things have changed. Disability access, just things like having large computer labs for students that weren't really envisioned back then, so this was critical.
Manufacturing student Hussein Ibrahim says the new space doesn't compare to what they had before.
No, not. They have in a hallway, but not like this. This is beautiful right now.
He's appreciating the latest change on campus, a better place where students can study. In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
The project also included similar renovations at the Eden Prairie campus. And together they cost just more than $11 million, which is paid by state bonding money. Well, authorities have released the name of a shooting victim in Brooklyn Park. The county medical examiner identified the victim as 43-year-old Daniel Friedenberg of New Hope. He died of multiple gunshot wounds over the Labor Day weekend at a home in the 6200 block of Winnetka Avenue. Police say a fight involving several men had broken out before the shooting. No arrests have been made.
New birth rate data shows while teen pregnancies are down in the state of Minnesota, the number of teen births remains consistently higher in the northwest suburbs. 10% of all births in the Brooklyn Center and Robbinsdale school districts are born to mothers under the age of 21. There are many contributing factors to teen pregnancy, but poverty plays a big role, and teen births impact us all.
But when a child is a teen and they become a parent, it's important for the community to embrace that family and wrap supports around them. It reduces all of our overall costs, and it increases the viability of that child having the thriving behavior experiences that they need and the support to be ready for school.
Community support programs like one called Helping Us Grow can connect any expectant family with resources. For more information, you can call this number at 763-504-4983.
A registered nurse from Plymouth is volunteering to help in the aftermath of severe flooding in Colorado. Becky Anderson volunteers for the Red Cross and is doing healthcare work in a shelter in Greeley, Colorado.
And if they're a working poor, they're making arrangements. You know, some people aren't even able to come in while they're trying to work and stay afloat.
Anderson is working in Red Cross shelters, helping people with everything from tetanus shots to medicine and eyeglasses that may have been left behind in the rush to get out of their homes. Property losses in Colorado are expected to total about $2 billion. Anderson says the weather has improved now, but for many people it will be a long road to recovery.
They're being told that the infrastructure is down and won't be able to get back to their homes for a year, so they're staying with family and friends and utilizing shelters too. I heard of one family that had just paid their final trailer house bill and then lost their trailer that day.
Anderson will spend 2 weeks working in Colorado. Her first deployment was in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy on the East Coast last year. Well, coming up, a first-of-its-kind park in Brooklyn Park.
We'll show you what makes it unique. And then later in sports, it's a battle of the top-ranked big school versus the top small school in girls tennis.
But first, storms before plummeting temperatures. A cool front arrives on Friday. It's a park where everyone can play. Brooklyn Park residents will soon have their first all-inclusive park.
12 News reporter Sonia Goins has more on this unique playground.
The rain didn't stop crews from putting the finishing touches on the all-inclusive Northwoods Park.
This is our first all-inclusive playground in Brooklyn Park.
City officials say every child should be able to know what it's like to go down a slide or shimmy up a rope.
The difference is this playground, you're able to wheel up to every feature on the playground and transfer yourself or utilize each play feature.
This 7,300 square foot park comes with a lot of unique gadgets. And there are plenty of ramps.
There's ramps that are right at ground level, so they'll be able to enter that if they're in a wheelchair or somehow physically impaired.
The decks and railings are also twice as wide to make it easier to get around in a wheelchair.
2 children in wheelchairs can pass on the playground and not be trapped. So it's wide enough for 2 wheelchairs to get by each other.
There's also equipment for people with limited sight. A lot of the gear is made of different textures.
There's a lot of features on here, like musical features that somebody that's seeing impaired can still enjoy the musical features of the playground as well.
This park is not only for children. Parents can also get in on playtime.
Not only the kids can enjoy it, but maybe the parents in a wheelchair, and they can follow their kid and play with their kid on the playground now that they can access everything.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The park cost about $350,000, but the city was able to save $50,000 by using a grant and other discounts. A ribbon-cutting ceremony is scheduled for October 16th. Coming up, we head to Champlin Park High School to meet this week's Standout student.
And up next in sports, hear from an Osseo native as he gets set to step back into the boxing ring. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Well, John Jacobson now with a look at sports and a pretty good tennis matchup. But, you know, man, Edina's really got a long history with tennis, don't they?
You know, they got something like 30 state titles since the late 1970s. It is unbelievable how good they are. Yeah, it is. The Breck girls tennis team is ranked #1 in the state in Class A. Wednesday, the Mustangs got quite a test from the 16-time defending state champion Edina. Breck at home for this match. Highlights from #1 singles. First up, Caitlin Merzbacher in the far court for Edina. A nice drop shot on Breck's Patty Zhao for a point. Later in the match, it's Zhao serving, and she'll follow this up with a nice backhand winner. However, Merzbacher goes on to win the match for Edina. At second singles, Sunny Tang of Breck in the near court against Sophia Reddy. Tang connecting with a strong cross-court backhand winner for a point, but Reddy takes the match. Strong play at third singles from Edina's Kelly Rieger facing Breck's Evie McKenzie. Rieger controlling play at the net, wins the point and wins the match in straight sets. First doubles play, Grace Zumwinkle and Kendall Kozakowski of Breck playing Maddie Boyer and Katie Engelking. Zumwinkle and Kozakowski win the point, but Boyer and Engelking win the match. Edina takes all 17 points to sweep the Mustangs. It's Breck's first loss of the season. Cooper's football team had plenty of spots to fill after graduating much of last year's 8-3 team. The Hawks have gotten off to a solid 2-1 start. It's back into conference play this week in the final year of the North Suburban Conference for the Hawks as they take on defending league champion Spring Lake Park. It's a team they've struggled against in the past, but it should be a good measuring stick for this season.
They're a really great team. I'm not going to talk down about them, but I feel like our team is good enough to compete with them and hopefully pull a W.
Coach Sleef is a great coach, and I think, you know, for me, it would feel good to get a W against him. All of our lower levels, they've beat them on the lower level. What we haven't been able to do is win on the varsity level. And so it means something because we don't know when the next time is we're going to be able to play them. And
the Hawks have defeated Marshall and New Ulm with a lopsided loss to a good Benilde team in the middle. They aren't satisfied, but considering how many first-year varsity regulars they have, it's not a bad start.
I feel like they've been going great. We did take a loss to Benilde, but we built off of that, and I feel like our team's gathering the speed that we need to get up to, and we'll be ready for just about anybody.
when it comes down to athleticism, we've got all the athletes in the room. I mean, Cooper has a lot of athletes, but the part that we have been lacking prior to last game was experience. So going into the game, we thought about really putting people in position, maybe a different position versus New Ulm, to just see what we really have.
Cooper plays at Spring Lake Park at 7 o'clock on Friday. Pro boxer Caleb Truax is back in action this weekend. The Osseo native will fight Ceriso Fort on Saturday night at the Minneapolis Convention Center for the vacant USBA middleweight title. Truax is 22-1-1, while Fort comes in with a record of 17-1-1. The boys aren't strangers. In fact, they fought as amateurs, and since turning pro, Truax has used Fort as a sparring partner. Truax stopped short of calling Fort a friend, but he does say he respects the St. Paul fighter. Still, when the bell rings, Truax will be all business.
He makes a lot of mistakes, and that kind of feeds right into what I love to do is counterpunch, and I think I'll be able to take advantage of his mistakes all night, and he'll be there for me to hit because he comes forward, and that's going to make for a short night, I think.
Not lacking in confidence. Truax has looked good in his last two fights, beating St. Paul brawler Matt Vanda and knocking out Donovan George on a nationally televised card. And there could be big fights for Truax in the future if he takes care of Fort on Saturday.
We actually had to weigh our options before this fight. We got tentatively offered a fight with Andre Ward, who's like the #2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world for his comeback fight. And I would have had to move up a weight class, and the money wasn't what we thought it should be, so we ultimately decided to keep on the route we're going. But not looking past this fight, I hope to get another fight on ESPN in January.
Champlin heavyweight Joey Abel is also on Saturday's card. First fight is scheduled for 7 o'clock at the Convention Center. Good luck to Caleb. He has done very well since turning pro.
And some fighting words
Yes,
for
he
his
has.
opponent,
Yeah.
right? Thanks, John. Still ahead, a Champlin Park student in the running for a prestigious scholarship.
She is this week's Standout student, and you'll meet her coming up next. The school year is only a few weeks old, but the push for high school seniors to find the right college and earn scholarship money is already well underway.
That's something today's standout student from Champlin Park knows all too well. But as Delane Cleveland reports, she is in the running for a prestigious national scholarship.
So let's start off with that question about form.
Senior year of high school provides its fair share of challenges.
Imagine you're in a college classroom.
And the students in this international baccalaureate class received the pleasant surprise today of a pop quiz in the form of a personal narrative.
So this is a way to practice your on-demand writing skills today.
After 20 minutes of jotting down stories about their personal writing styles, 17-year-old Tori Odiambo was one of the first students in class to share her thoughts about the exercise.
I thought that when writing a personal narrative, descriptors are really important. The audience isn't really interested in the objective evidence. They want to know like how you feel, how you felt during the process.
Such examples of her intuition are a big reason why Tori's teachers call her a standout student.
Tori is the total package as a student. She has the curiosity that sparks those questions, and she has a work ethic that is unbelievable.
That work ethic has earned her a 3.9 GPA, yet she also finds time to volunteer once a week at Maple Grove Hospital.
Volunteering is not required, but once you take the time to show people that you're committed to servicing them, I think it's really important to the community.
Tori's teachers boast about her well-rounded nature, but they're not the only people who've noticed.
My hard work, finally paid off.
Tori is in the running for the prestigious National Achievement Scholarship Program that honors the nation's top black students.
She works really hard to achieve what she is achieving.
And with the school year only a few weeks old, Tori has plenty of time to continue making her mark on Champlin Park.
I just want to finish off senior year strong.
For standout student Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The National Merit Scholarship Program will award approximately 800 achievement scholarships later this school year. Tori's in the running, but next week the organization will announce whether she's a semi-finalist. So I'm sure, fingers crossed, hope she gets that.
Good luck to her.
That's
yeah,
right.
She deserves it.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corners coming up next.